Oh, my heart is a very good evening to you. It's me, Scottie McClue. And we are, of course, live on the Big One YouTube. We're streaming live just for you, saying Dinky-Doo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you've had a fabulous day. It's Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Nothing gets past me, you know. Yes, big style. So there we are. Now, who have we got here? Who was first on tonight? Let's just have a wee... John Jones, are you cheeking up to me? Hurry up, Mr. McClue. No, we come on at 8 o'clock. I'm first again, says Graham Niven. Sadly not second again, Graham, but you're getting there. You're moving up. Your position in the queue is 2. Dinky-Doo Scotties is the wonderful Eddie Doyle. Can we get this shared, guys? Absolutely, Graham. Let's get sharing. Scotty, how are you tonight? It's been sunny. What's that all about for July? I know. I think that the weather's been a lot better because of the lack of pollution, to be quite honest with you, Kareem. That's my reading of the situation. And Sausage Lover says, hit. Hiya, Scottie McClue. Long time no see. Dinky-Doo. Lovely to have you with us, Sausage. Hi, says the wonderful Finlay Morris. Excellent, Finlay. Bang on tonight. Papaloot says no. Dinky-Doo says Finlay. Scotty, tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. Share now with everyone so we can have a good chit-chat for the remainder. Please share now. Very, very polite man, Kareem. Proper upbringing, you see. Just talk amongst ourselves while we wait. Absolutely, Magnus. Dinky-Doo, evening all, evening everybody. Gordon Robertson, the wonderful Gordon Robertson. Welcome, welcome. How is Oliver? Everybody's asking, stay on to the 11th, says Tam. Tam, you're early tonight. Top man. So there you are. Excellent stuff. And who have we got here? Share away, guys, says Roger. You can't see that name on here, Kareem. Who has he said? He's just talked about the weather. First like, probably. Yeah, of course, you're probably the first like. Can we have more likes, guys? I need about another 10 likes right away. Very, very, very busy tonight. Hello, folks. Do you think Scotty's fallen asleep? Scott, you're forgetting what happens is I put the warning up a few hours earlier. And it's sitting there, and that's a facility for you to chat. I come on at around 8 o'clock, all right? So until then, you just have to stand there, bide your time, and hang on. It's fallen asleep. I'll give you fallen asleep. There we are. Scotty, what additional sanctions should there be towards animal cruelty? Your thoughts? I think probably a good birching. You know, I thought about this the other night. Remember we talked about if people aren't wearing masks for no medical reason, instead of fining them, would be better bringing back the birch as a deterrent and saying the police will turn up and they'll put you over that fence and give you a birching. So put your mask on. Just a thought. And for animal cruelty, get them down the stocks on a Saturday morning and everybody's social distancing down there. What are they up for? Animal cruelty. Right, a good birching. There we are. It's been raining for 3 weeks. Whitsun. Of course, not been raining, has it, for 3 weeks? Surely if it rains on St. Swithin's Day, that's the one. Hi, Kareem. Thanks for asking. At the vet today for the vaccinations. Oliver checked out well. Of course he did, Gordon Robertson. He sounds adorable. So there we are. What have you had for dinner, says Huge Sausage. Huge Sausage for dinner tonight. It was rather a lovely dinner, actually. It was light. I'm having light suppers, to keep the muscle up and the weight down. So it was good, healthy roasted cheese. Do you say roasted cheese or cheese on toast? Just an idea. We need to get that sorted. Stay on till 10, says Finlay Morris. Well, Finlay Morris, I have a good mind to stay on till at least 8:30 and maybe 10. Good evening, Scotty. Hope you're well, says Robert Scrimger. Hi, Craig. Hi, Lorraine. Stay on until 8:30. Definitely, Graham. Evening, Lord McClue. Dinky-Doo. Hi, Kareem. says Scott. Pardon me. I think jail time's needed. Did you see the state of the two dogs in the news? A German Shepherd and a mixed breed, underweight and neglected. Yes, we need to be very, very tough, particularly during recession. And there will be a big recession coming, obviously, with the Brexit. Never mind the coronavirus, the Brexit will do for us. Professor Numpty Hood says, hello, Scotty. Tam, just to let you know that somebody else has gone for mentioning names last night. I didn't want you to think that you were getting it in the neck and they were getting away with it. So I think it's Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is now no more. I checked the chat at the end and I thought, no, he doesn't get it. He's being silly. So bang. So that's that. Ta-ra, Sub-Zero. There we are. What is your sexuality? Says Huge Sausage Liver. I don't know how you would rate it. I've always presented as straight male. But now I think you can come on as different things, can't you? So there we are. So I'll need to have a wee think. Huge Sausage Lover, are you homosexual? No, I don't. I have read a lot of ancient Greek stuff and I've read Homer, but I'm not homosexual because I'm not sure what sexuality or his sexual proclivities Homer had when he wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. So there we go. Something different tonight, a wee bit out of sync, colour balance different, bit more detail in the pic, but blurring when you move. Ah, Gordon, now that might be your kit or it might be the light. It's very light outside, so we're getting light. You'll see it in the picture coming in the windows, which are absolutely pristine. The windows are maybe too clean. Can you have windows that are too clean, Gordon? The opposite of mock it. Clean it. And so there we are. Well kept it. And what's happening is we've got different light, and I've obviously got a light shirt on, and I think that changes the balance a wee bit. But just for you, Gordon, because I am a massive fan, I think I'll try and change the lighting. Are you watching? Now, let's see what happens. Anything better about that, Gordon? Is it better like that, or like that, or that, or that, or that? Which is the best one? Which is the best one, folks? Shout out. There we are. Gordon's worried about the lighting. Is the lighting all right for us? He said the G name, Scotty. Did he? Let me have a look back here and find out what we've got. Yes. Yes. Oh, no, the G name as in Gordon. That's all right, because we've got Gordon Robertson. So there we go. Absolutely, absolutely. So, guys, you don't tell Scotty to hurry up. You don't say, where is he? You don't do all that stuff. You know, I mean, I'm coming here, you know, free at the point of delivery to say hi. So, manners, you know, that sort of thing. Absolutely. Can we shout out to Oliver the dog? We can, Graham. Oliver. Hello, folks. Do you think Scotty's fallen asleep? All that sort of stuff, you see. Very, very strange, that kind of example. Tut, tut, tuttity, tut. Kareem says, and maybe a wee kicking. Well, Kareem, you know, yes, a good kicking. There used to be a saying, kick their time in. Do you remember that one? Kick their time in. This is a negativity-free song, except when I do it, says Graham. And Graham, you won't be doing it. So there we are. Now, Huge Sausage, if you're going to remain on the stream, you're going to have to stop your nonsense. Guys, I'm going to read out Huge Sausage's message, and you've got to tell me if you think he's got the flavour of our stream, if you think he's preserving the harmony of our stream, right? Here's his message. Huge Sausage says, do you have a boyfriend and how is the man? So there we are. Well, I find that very strange. I have lots and lots of boyfriends and lots of girlfriends. So there we are. So there are lots and lots of old friends. So there we go, sausage. But you will be neither if you don't fit in with our stream, you know. You might have to jog on, as we say. Did you see what I just did there? Fantastic. Last night, by the way, outstanding stream. I've got to say it. Got to say it, guys. Well done. True, Kareem. I've shared, folks. Have you, says Kareem. Come on, everybody share. Yeah, let's share. Now, let's get down to this before we get distracted. We are sharing. We are sharing. Share, share. Share, share, share. I can see no reason or excuse for animal cruelty. Yes, birch the culprits. Up the close with them, Gordon. There we are. Toast and cheese, says Acos. Yes, I all said toast and cheese. Thomas, what are you on about, says Craig. Indeed. Good question, Craig. Thomas, answer the man, please. J-Dog Gaming, Dinky-Doo, Scotty, how are you? J-Dog, welcome. Excellent to have you with us tonight. And Dinky-Doo, are you dashing off for din-dins? We're just about to have a massive share, J-Dog. Would you like to join in that one? Because I know that you've got a lot of access to people on the internet. The wonderful Chris Wilmot has joined us. Good evening, Scotty, on this fine Tuesday. Dinky-Doo, Chris Wilmot, lovely to have you with us. I hope you're not working too hard these days. No chips tonight. I need to look after my gut. Yes, Graham, I think if you just have chips all the time, do you mean your gut inside or outside? That's actually not your stomach that you're seeing if somebody's carrying around a great big kite. You know, that is visceral fat around your organs. You know, I have a small kite. Thank you for a great chat yesterday, Scotty. Sorry for pressing moderators on you. Not at all, J-Dog. It was very, very kind of you and very thoughtful. Never give that a thought. There is no problem with kindness and thoughtfulness on here, and you are very much capable of both and display them all the time. It was a very kind offer. I just thought to myself, and I may yet require moderators if we have too many dafties joining us, but it's quite good for the stream to be all part of getting rid of the dafties. So it's good for us all to be judge and jury on the stream and decide on the future. I'm just going to welcome everybody. Welcome. There we are. All right. I've just welcomed you all on the super chat. Welcome. And you should see that pop up, and that will give you an idea of what is what. Now, are we keeping Huge Sausage, or is he going? Or she, whoever that is. So there we are. Could well be a she. So there we are. I'm sure you get Lady Huge Sausage lovers as well. Scotty, typo errors coming. I'll be on my phone in the bath. Oh, do be careful, Kareem. You're going out for dinner now. It's 50% off, up to £10. £10 for dinner. Lot of money, mind you, but what do you get for that? A leaf. Evening, J-Dog. Craig, if you're needing it sorted, mate, I've got a number for you. I got rid of my damp in a day, and it's never been back. Would highly recommend this company. So there we are. Excellent stuff. Yes. And so that's that. Now, Huge Sausage, what? Yes, right. We'll see. We'll have a look and see how Huge Sausage does. 8 o'clock, Scotty, comes in like wee Willy Winky. All the boys in their beds, boys and girls and boys are in their bed for now. It's 8 o'clock. Wee Willy Winky is, I think, buried in the grounds at Glasgow Cathedral in the necropolis. Am I right? Is that the author of Wee Willy Winky, I think, is buried in the necropolis. Am I right? Have I imagined that? Scott, it was shocking. These dogs, jail and a massive fine. Yes, Kareem, and as you say, maybe are we seeing too? There we are. Right. So what have we got here? I'm just going through everything here. Dinner for a tenner. Evening, J-Dog. Roger says, oh, yes, that's about sorting that out. So there we are. Scotty, have the lights like a disco. So there we are. Yes, a bit of I can do discoing as well. Is that looking better? Is Gordon happy? There's one of those lightings that makes you look cyanized. Cyanized. Oh, you've lost me there, Gordon. I've got to hand you that one. Ban, says Scott. So we're going to ban sausage. Right, there we are. Huge sausage has to go, Scotty. Yellow card for Kareem for wanting violence. There's no kickings in the stream. Do we think, yes, are we non-violent as a stream? Okay, Coke, Tam. I'll tell them. There we are. Finlay Morris, yellow cards. No, not for you, Finlay. You're a top man. A straight send-off, says Roger. Is your shot from, and he mentions a very popular store. No, Huge. Shall we just ban Huge Sausage just now or time out? We'll time out Huge Sausage. Or ban, did we say ban? Yes, ban's quite harsh, mind you, isn't it? Although, having said that, you know, what's his name got banned last night for mentioning names because I can't pull Tam up and not pull him up. That would look like favoritism. So there we are. Right. So Sausage has gone. There he is. Bye-bye, Sausage. Yes, immature and disrespectful, Kareem. So what we've done, he's gone. He's out the game. Red card for everyone except me, says Acos. We could have a nice chat in peace. Keep him on, says Thomas. He's gone. Thomas, sorry, I didn't see that there. That's just rude, mate, says Peter McAleese. Yes. Scotty, the stream last night was great. We tackled isolation and loneliness on the McClue show. Fantastic. Robert Scrimger, I think so. And I actually, you know, there's nothing megalomaniac about this or anything, but what I found last night, I can now go on to I told you my sister bought me a stick for the telly, and no names, no pack drill. And you can now actually say, Alexa, play Scottie McClue on YouTube. And you go straight to the stream for the evening. She goes, yes, I'll do that. It's quite a well-spoken lassie, actually. A well-spoken quine, our Alexa. Guys, can we do some sharing? Yes, let's share. There's not a thing shared here. This is shocking. Shocking. We've been on for how long? About 17, 18 minutes and nothing shared. That just should not be happening, guys, in the 21st century. You know, let's go for it. Right. I'm going to share to YouTube. So there we go. See if we can bring on the 2,200 that have subscribed. Now, what am I saying here, guys? Live now and the URL. Is that right? Because I noticed the stream is up again. And that's due to you guys. Thank you. Live now at www.youtube.com/user/Scottie McClue 1. All right, so I was going to tell you, so I found out Alexa works now with Scottie McClue. Okay. Very, very important. And if you can all do that, then it'll make a huge, huge difference, something like that. Because I thought if this doesn't work, because, you know, sometimes you can try Alexa, you know, and you say, well, I've not, but I've heard people tell me of this. You try Alexa and she goes, I don't know that, or something like that. So I thought it was brilliant. It just happened right away on the big telly. So I don't know. Gordon Robertson, you've got Alexa, have you not? So maybe you could check that one with us. That would be wonderful. Right. Now, what else am I doing? Oh, yes. I'm going to share on the big YouTube. The big Facebook. I'm going to share YouTube on the big Facebook. I've just shared on YouTube. So I'm going on to the big Facebook page. If you can all do the same, that would be brilliant. I'm on it, Finlay, says Peter. Who's on the Skype tonight? Huge Sausages Sub-Zero. Gone. Absolutely gone, the pair of them. Scotty, do you like Kevin Bridges? Love Kevin Bridges. Think the man's an absolute scream. Does all that serious chat. That's how I roll. And I was watching Billy Connolly tonight. Obviously, an earlier one, but it was brilliant. He was doing The Wildebeest. Have you ever seen him do that one? I hadn't, but it was just outstanding. The man's an original. Yes, I love Kevin Bridges. Did you take your mind off the damp last night, Craig, says Tam. What do you think about South Lanarkshire statement? Some grass cutting won't be done till 2021. Shocking, we're still paying the council tax, says Betty McIver. They are very, very, very difficult circumstances, the Betty, and the council will need quite a bit of dosh. Who's given McClue £5? I'm just going to go and check. And how is that £5 rather than $4.99? Welcome, 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 says McClure. ACOS, well done, good call. Scotty, what's the only prison riot in Britain where the SAS had to be deployed to quell? Was it Strangeways? Did they have to go into Strangeways? So there we are, because they used to, I remember someday, and after dinner speech, he says, he was telling us it was to do with the prison service. They said that these guys get 3 square meals a day and a roof under their feet. So. Do you think the idiots who went on holiday should be compensated by the taxpayers? I don't. John Jones, why are people flying at all? And why the other night did we get an announcement that when they came back from Spain, they wouldn't have to quarantine, and then that was reversed immediately? So, there's things to be looked at here. We need to be very careful. Shocking, Betty. We should start a protest. Robert, it was the Bar L. Was it Bar L? There they are. Kareem says, huge sausage is the reason why we need to have moderators to remove the dafties, to make sure you have a good chit-chat with your fans, Scotty. Absolutely, Kareem, but I think I do quite a good job in removing the dafties, and you do a very good job in pointing them out to me. Good evening, Scotty. Sorry I'm late. Dinky-Doo, sit at the back of the class. Not at all, Glenn. You come up the front there. There's no sanctions or punishment for being late for Scottie McClue. You have suffered enough. Scotty, 30 years ago, yesterday, the QE2 returned to the Clyde for the first time since your launch in 1968. Huge crowds for such an amazing vessel. A wonderful thing, the QE2. My mother went on one of the Clyde steamers to the launch and took photos. Absolutely. Evening, Glenn, says Roger. Willie Winky Author is buried at Tall Cross Cemetery, but there's a memorial at the necropolis. Aha! ACOS. There was something at the distant back of my mind saying he's not actually buried there. That's fabulous. Thank you. Because I remember reading it, but it's so long ago, and there's been such a lot of water under the bridge, as we say, not in the Mollendine or Burn, I hasten to add. So there we go. The banks of the Mollendine. Right, more likes, please, guys. I need about another 10 likes. There needs to be more sharing. We cannot just leave it at that. Don't just do it. Did you like that, Tam? Let's talk about the Waverley. Go on, Roger, you start. I totally agree, Kareem. It's the correct reason why we need moderators to get rid of the dafties with the immature language. Absolutely, J-Dog, but I think McClue does a reasonable job. Glenn, what did you have for dinner this evening? J-Dog, are you a Karen? Question mark. J-Dog's a gentleman, Roger. Time out. You've not heard J-Dog talking. He talks with what I call a basso profundo voice. There we are. Time out, says Thomas. Time out. Well, he's gone, Thomas. Sausage and chips, Roger. I think we can allow violence when it comes to animal or child abuse. No yellow cards, just free kicks. Free kick, I know, but what if these people, if somebody went too far? You see, that's the danger. If somebody goes too far, and then it makes us worse than them. Do you see what I mean? As the wonderful Mahatma Gandhi said, if you take an eye for an eye, the whole world will be blind. Yes, wonderful, wonderful man. Mohandas Gandhi. Remarkable character with his peaceful protests. And he got right under Winston Churchill's skin, I'll tell you that. Is he still wearing his old bedsheet? You know, I mean, Gandhi was a man that Churchill found it really, really hard to criticize properly. And Churchill was always working a flanker, pulling a fly one politically. There was a mission to India to talk about Indian independence. And Churchill had been the Secretary of State for India when it was under British administration. And he actually sabotaged the mission. And I'll tell you who was going on the mission. It was Sir Stafford Cripps. There we are, Sir Stafford Cripps. An old newsreader friend of mine unfortunately got that wrong and called him Sir Stafford Cripps. Yo-ho-ho, off we go. Do you know it's McClue on the go? Bye-bye, sausage. Scotty, I've shared in light, says Kareem. You're a top man, Kareem. Necropolis is the biggest graveyard in the world. Yes, but you know that there's another one called the Southern Necropolis, and that's known as the City of the Dead. And then there's a huge old cemetery out at Lamb Hill where Will Fife, the man who did I Belong to Glasgow, and you'll see his stone. It's a nice stone that says Will Fife CBE, I Belong to Glasgow. There you are now. Liked, says J-Dog, liked and shared. Good man, Craig. Alexa's spying on your Graham. Well, I've nothing to hide, Graham, so there we are. Poor Alexa. Like the newspapers, she'll get bored. The newspapers. I remember talking to a top journalist, and I said, listen, if you're after a story, you don't need to hide in ditches. Come into the house, have a cup of tea, and we'll make one up. And he said, I said, I am a very, very dull, boring man. And he said, I know. We had you followed for 3 months. Fantastic. Seems to be some cracking in the sound. Anybody else getting bad sound? Alexa's the guy. Oh, Roger, for goodness sake, stop all. We can't say these things. If you say to Alexa, it's my birthday, she sings. There we are. Well, I've done nothing. The only thing I've ever said to Alexa was, Alexa, play Scottie McClue on YouTube. And boom, up it came in glorious Technicolor on the big telly. Kareem Zachariah. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy indeed. So there we are. Kareem Zachariah has tapped the dollar and sent £5. £5. Now, Kareem, that is just, even for you, a wee bit generous. So there we go, because you've given pound after pound after pound. So there we are. And Kareem says, moderators are needed, Scotty, for your next growth phase. What a top man, Kareem, you really are. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that, Kareem. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity and your thoughtfulness, your kindness, and your support. Very, very good of you. That goes to every single one of you, because a lot of you are not just tapping the dollar. You're going to the GoFundMe. You'll see the link at the top there. You're going there, and we're halfway through our GoFundMe, raising our target for equipment. So that's pretty good. This shows an amazing solution to loneliness. It's one little exclusive club where we can all get together every night. God bless Scottie McClue. Chris Wilmot, thank you. But if I can just correct you on one thing, it's not exclusive. It's the most inclusive club in the world, because anyone can join as long as they can behave. Keep a civil tongue in their gob. And you guys all can, I tell you, lol, says Scott. Who's tapped the dollar, says Graham. Kareem, Graham. Kareem, stop. Yes, it was me, Scotty. It was you, Kareem, we know. Kareem has tapped the dollar big style. says Tam in uppercase writing, shouting it. Kareem has tapped the dollar big style. John Marshall, Kareem got 5 in the bonus ball on the lottery last night. Listen, don't mock it. See Friday night, Euro Millions. You all said I would get nothing. And you were correct. But I was only 5 numbers away from the winning numbers. So not bad. Well done, Kareem. Huge round of silent applause for Kareem. I like to do too much of this without talking because people start trying to turn up their device. There we go. Fantastic. Did you get it sorted, Craig? I've just tried to find Scottie McClue on Siri on my iPhone, and I found you. Wonderful, Magnus. Well, we'll try it. If anyone's got a telly, Alexa, play Scottie McClue on YouTube. There we are. I promise you it does work. A ban for Thomas. Now, what's Thomas done now? Why would he ban Thomas for shouting? Kareem is Kareem is a High Court. Thomas, that's a dreadful, dreadful thing to say. I don't think Kareem even plays tennis. There we are. No, he doesn't. And that would be the centre court. So there we are. A ban for Thomas. We are, I think, Thomas, I'll tell you what we're needing for Thomas. This one. Oh. And let's do it football-wise for Thomas as well, because he'll understand this. He's a football man. Okay. The commentators are all going, there he is. There's Thomas on the pitch now, having a wee bit of argy-bargy with the referee. Scotty not too happy with them. Tam, love you too, says Kareem. Cracky Craig, nothing better than getting rid of that horrible stuff. Hope it stays away. Roger, if you and Craig are going to talk damp, would you get each other's numbers and text each other? Because this is Scottie McClue's live stream. All right, so there we go. And there's people desperate to get on. Violence ain't the answer, says the wonderful Glenn Peacock. Quite right, Glenn. Very far-seeing. Was looking back at some of the streams in February. Somebody had the moderator symbol next to the name. You probably did it by accident. I did, J-Dog. I was trying to ban somebody one night and I made them a moderator. Fortunately, I unmoderated them before they noticed. Can you imagine? So there we go. Yes, J-Dog, I also saw that. Interesting. Yes. I'll tell you who it might be. It was probably myself that made a moderator. I'd be a good moderator, said Thomas. No, Thomas, no. Your judgment isn't quite there yet, but it's getting there. We're working on it together. Excellent. Good judgment. He took away mod abilities because he secretly loves the controversy. Graham, I don't secretly do anything. If I'm doing stuff, I will tell you. So there we are. I would say I love the controversy. Try Alexa, tell me a joke. No, Scotty, tell me a joke is. Robert Scrimger, Scotty, did you know that in 1779, US Navy troops tried to blockade Leith Harbour to destabilize British trading in the North Sea? You have to watch them, you see. So that was only, 3 years after independence. Was that right? Am I correct? Forgive me. Excuse me. Wee sip of water. Lovely glass back, the highball. 50p. Nothing for the water. That was for the glass. Kareem's just paying his fine, says Numpty Head. Stop it, Numpty Head. Scotty, I also like Stanley Baxter and Chick Murray, Eddie Doyle, both exceptional comedians and entertainers. Stanley is still with us in his 90s, and he's a man that should have got a lot more television. I mean, he was right up the top, but he should have got a lot more. And the criticism was that it cost quite a lot to produce the show with all the costumes, like dressing up as the Queen and all that stuff. But you never, ever know. You know, they'll always find something. I mean, I remember speaking to somebody in broadcasting, 2 years ago, and his excuse was, Scotty, I'm going through figures at the moment. I'll come back to you. So I wonder if he could take a call from me now, and I'll say, how are you getting on with the figures? Are you through them yet? You know, but they'll always find, and that's been down the history, particularly of the public service broadcaster. People have written in with wonderful ideas, and they will immediately tell you why they can't do it. So there we are. I pitched a brilliant idea to a very senior television executive, and he just immediately said that he had a program that already did that. Rescind that yellow card. No, you can't take it back. The card's up there. Scotty, I played badminton, played hockey and volleyball and fitness. Not a fan of tennis. No, he was on about the court, Kareem, so I thought, I don't know if Kareem plays tennis. Boo, Scotty, keep the villain, says Glenn. Going to have to dash for dinner. Lovely leftover pasta in wraps tonight. Dinky-Doo, J-Dog. Bon appetit, mon ami. Enjoy every second of that. And if you get a chance to come back and see us, that would be fabulous. But do not rush. I don't want you getting indignation. So there you go. See you in a bit. Just getting my chicken korma and garlic naan for my takeaway. So there we are. I don't think it's garlic naan. I think if she's from the islands, it's garlic naan. Yes, hi. Kamraha nana. Hachema, the Kalioch is here. Hachema, yes, maha. Dinky-Doo, Scotty, late joining tonight. Did you have a nice dinner? What do you do during daytime? We're not streaming. Do you have any hobbies? Hobbies? Listen, I am so busy. I could do with another life. I was just thinking last night, and I thought, it would be wonderful to just turn the clock back 20 years. I've done everything I've done right up till now, and, just have that extra 20 years to do some of the other things I'd like to do. Fantastic. Very, very interesting. I what you call an autodidact. Have a look at that one. Are you drinking on duty, Scotty? That clear water looks suspect. Numpty, that's your suspicious mind because of your training in the polis, in the Edinburgh polis. Scotty, have you ever done drag? I did once go to a fancy dress as a woman. And just as I was going, I noticed that quite a lot of chest hair was poking out the top. So I got the razor out and just took it down far enough so I could get on the wig and the dress. And it fooled everybody. I did a superb job on it. But the funny bit was I was at the theatre about maybe 2 weeks later, and I was talking to an agent at the bar, and he was looking, I had an open neck shirt on, and he was chatting to me. He said, I think what we're getting at the moment is do you shave your chest? That was exactly what it was like. And I thought, oh no, it's and then of course I made the situation worse. I said, no, it was for I was going out one night and I was dressed up as a woman, and I don't want to know anymore. I said, no, you don't. No, sorry, I don't want to know it. And of course you're digging a bigger hole for yourself. So there we are. So Brian M, that should answer. I've never actually done drag, but somebody said that Scottie McClue and what was the wonderful one that Paul O'Grady did? Lily Savage. They said, we would love, if you can get together with Lily Savage, we'll give you television work. ACOS, that's shocking. They should fix that problem. They can't be good for your health like you can, says Kareem. What's that? What are we talking about here? ACOS, yeah, I have a constant battle with damp, but the housing is okay. Guys, can we stop talking about damp in houses? Right? If you need to discuss damp with each other, please, as I say, text each other or email. You know, we are having a discussion on the stream here. It's a nightmare, cause. Right, if anybody discusses damp, what we'll do is we'll give them a lifetime ban. Okay? So any further discussions on damp, lifetime ban. So there we are. ACOS, are you getting that lifetime ban for discussing damp? Chris Wilmot says, do you remember David McCallum, who played a secret agent in The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? I believe he was born in Maryhill. David McCallum, wonderful, wonderful actor. And he was in Colditz as well, remember, in Colditz? And he played Ilya Kuryakin in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Leo G. Carroll played Mr. Waverley, and Robert Vaughan played Napoleon Solo. Napoleon Solo. Now, since you've asked, David McCallum's father was the leader of the Scottish Orchestra. So there we are. So that's that. So he was a violinist, obviously, if he was the orchestral leader. And that was David McCallum's father. Is that not just absolutely? And he was under the baton of Ian White. There we are, very known, the head of music at the BBC. Pick, so it didn't happen. I'll never get a bottom landing again, sitting in the middle of the box. ACOS, have you heard this? Any further discussions on damp, lifetime ban? Guys, we need to do more sharing, I've just realised. We're blathering on here about all sorts of things. We haven't done any sharing. Share. General share, actually, if that's okay. A general share. So there we are. And we'll just tell them that we're live now and that they can come and join us. And what am I doing here? Do that one. Lovely. And what am I doing up here? Oh, yes. Right. Okay, that's that gone. Ah, yes. Never a dull moment, you know. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Right. That's all shared. Any more sharing, please? Scotty, do you like to dilute juice with your water? Yes, I do. I have some orange, I have some fruits of the forest, and I have some black currant, but just tiny wee bits of it, not too much of that, because there's a lot of sweeteners and stuff in it. Thomas says, hi, Catherine. Scotty, you're a bit harsh tonight. A ban for talking about damp. Yeah, because, Scott, it was taking over the show, and it's not fair on other people who don't have damp or have had a bad experience with it. Do you know what I mean? If you want to discuss damp in your houses, I suggest you get on your own stream for discussing damp in houses and not Scottie McClue's stream. What was it? I went on, but they were just discussing damp. Good evening, Scotty. Scotty, former Scottish Tory, might be made a lord this week by Boris. Well done. There we go. So excellent stuff, because Scotland, when they split the Scottish Parliament in 1707, Scotland could send 45 members to Parliament and 16 to the House of Lords. And I think they'd had, was it 380 sat in the Scottish Parliament. So, tut-tut-tutty-tut, tut-tut-tut-tut. We were getting the vow even then, Kareem. People were saying things like, I know it's 50-50 if you join us. So they're a big mistake. Scott, have you ever been to a jute factory in Dundee? I went to one last year, forgot your Bannockburns in Culloden. The best visit to a Scottish heritage site I've ever had. I've never been to a jute factory, but Dundee, the great things they used to say, Dundee was famous for jam, jute, and journalism. And Churchill became their MP. And he was not popular. So when he got the boot, he'd had an appendicitis, an appendectomy. And he said that when he left Dundee, he left without a seat, a reputation, and an appendix. I think that was it. So there we go. Share everyone off you go, chop chop. So there we are. Stanley. Ni camp, ni lamp, ni stamp, ni amp. Dinky-Doo. Dinky-Doo, Stanley. Hope you're not going to be silly. Maybe a yellow card, so Scott. Who for Scott? And there was Stanley. What we'll do is Stanley has just arrived, guys. New kid in the block. And as a welcome for Stanley, I'm going to throw him off the channel. There we go. It was advertising and he was being silly. A wee joke. I told my suitcase we could not go on holiday due to COVID. Now I've got emotional baggage. Magnus, I love it. That's quality humour. I was educating my nephew on the Battle of Bannockburn today, says Roger 1314. Roger, good stuff. We out at the battle site. Anyone on here needing debt help? Thomas is touting around for business, guys. If you've got debts, Thomas sorts it out. And all that sort of idea. So there you go. Thanks, Tam. So there, Scotty, have you seen the Robert the Bruce movie? No, I haven't, Eddie. I'll need to have a look at that. What about McClue, the movie? Would you come to that one? See all the ups and downs? I'm feeling... Oh, pardon me. Sorry, Karim. I'm feeling excited for the Scottish Parliament elections. We need a strong SNP, Greens and Independence parties for our Parliament. I'll tell you what's a bit strange, that the Scottish Parliament has got people that are satellites of national parties, not the Scottish National Party, because Scottish nationalism is the antithesis of English nationalism. It's very strange from that point of view. But it's interesting that the Scottish Parliament has got unionist parties, you know, because that we know that's not good for Scotland. I know Churchill lost his Dundee seat, Scotty. It was Edwin Scrimger, a prohibitionist, who defeated him. Scrimgers beat the Churchills. Absolutely. But I do love the way Churchill said, only the ancient Greeks have done more for civilization than the Scots. And he knew it because his wife was a Scot. He was married to a Scot. That's Stanley that got the knife. Scotty, I think you'd be excellent on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Yes, absolutely. I could phone you all up and get me up to 50 quid. You should go on Piers Morgan's Real Lives he does on the telly. That would be an interesting interview. The only thing I find about, I love Piers Morgan's That's Lives, but it looks like there's bits. It's all, you know, I would like to see it just on the night. You know, that's live television would be good. Live television interviews. So there we are. But thanks, Catherine. Absolutely, yes. I think we need to hear a lot more from Scottie McClue, don't you? Scotty, talk is all schools will open as normal. Disaster waiting to happen for September, October for parents, carers, teachers. You can't fix the dead. No, Kareem, no. But they'll, and they're not doing any social distancing or anything, is that right? Outlaw King, a lot better than the Robert the Bruce movie, a few inaccuracies, but more historically accurate than Braveheart. Robert Scrimger, do they mention when Bruce was on the loose in Tarbert and he let the lady goat, the lady goat let him suckle her. Spoiler alert, Scotty working with Lily Savage on TV. Oh, it'd be fabulous, wouldn't it? Fabulous. Glenn, yes, please. Guys, more sharing. I can't believe we've been on 50 minutes. 50 minutes. What is going on? Where's that time gone to? There's not a dish washed or a potty emptied or anything at all. 50 minutes we've been on. Can we get sharing, please? I want these figures up. We need them up. You know, we should be way over all the time. It should be growing and growing and growing. The stream in general is growing. What a lot of people are doing is watching it later. Go, I'll see it later. You know, but I think you've got to be in the groove, don't you? You've got to be absolutely in the groove, guys. Do you not think the live stream is much more fun to be there? Live stream. Wild thing. Right, are we ready? Okay, doing a bit of sharing here. If you can all do the same, that would be just Dinky-Doo, super callow. Absolutely super callow. Right, so I'm now going to say, so I'm telling everybody that we're live now, and I'll put in a few hashtags. There we go. Okay, I'll just tell them I am on YouTube and I am a YouTuber. People like that, you know. There we are. And you should see things. Guys, can you all share the playlists with your friends? Right, you'll see the playlists. Share them with your friends. You can't beat it live. I think so, Tam. You know, and I know that you're a very, very clever man. You don't always use your cleverness, and you should. It's all about the interaction. I think so. Outlaw King was post-Wallace and about the Lord Douglas being the hero. Great movie. Was that the Black Douglas? Is that the same one, ACOS? I can recall the goat mention at Tarbert, Scotty. I'll need to try and read up on this. I know a lot about Robert the Bruce, but not this. Well, Tarbert on Loch Fyne has got a castle, a ruined castle. And it's also got Bruce Hill, right? I know this because my family are from Tarbert. And it's got Bruce Hill. And Robert the Bruce was on the loose round about the West Loch in Tarbert. See, Tarbert's got a little isthmus. See what I just did there? An isthmus between Loch Fyne and West Loch Tarbert. And there was talk of a wee canal there that would have allowed ships just to go straight through. Tremendous. But they had then they cut the Crinan Canal from Ardrishig to Crinan. 9 miles. A man walked into a bar with a roll of tarmac under his arm. He says, "A pint of lager, please, and one for the road." We love it. More likes, please, more sharing. Come on. We can't leave it like this. That would be ridiculous. Okay. And what else are we doing? Yes. I'm putting in some other stuff here as well. What else can I put in? There we are. I'll put in that it's talk. What would you be if you were looking up to find Scottie McClue? What would you put in? Would you just put in Scottie McClue? That's what I'm wondering. Would you just put in Scottie McClue? I'm just trying to think, how do people find us here? We've got to think about all of this. The wonderful J-Dog's away for his din-dins. See, we were in Manchester, Scotty. Did you ever meet Terry Duckworth from Coronation Street? No, but I live just along the road and worked just along the road from Coronation Street. And I saw quite a lot of them. I can remember that. And it was wonderful. Lord James Douglas, says ACOS. Yes, it's the same Douglas, the Black Douglas, Alistair Campbell. Absolutely. From Douglas Castle in Lanarkshire. Oh, so much history in Lanarkshire. It's incredible. Just what a fantastic place. There we go. Wonderful. Yes, the same Douglas, Alistair Campbell. Thank you for that. Scotty, I think you'd be excellent in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Do you think so? Yes, I'm going to look about that. I'm going to read that up. That's excellent. That's excellent. Manchester's such a big city. No, but I was in Granada. Fantastic. Scott, have you ever been to the Electric Brae? I have, Eddie Doyle. That's the one that you're going downhill, but it looks as if you're going backwards. Is that right? Down near Culzean Castle. Am I right? More likes, please, guys. I went to the old Coronation Street, Granada, filmed my ma and dad while they chatted to the lassie out of the cabin. Is it Rita? Yes, Rita, absolutely. Barbara Knox, fantastic. And all these wonderful people. You used to see them coming and going. You saw them in the supermarket next door. So I used to see them, like, oh, look who it is. My goodness me. And then I got invited out one night to some celebrity thing, and I went in, and there was the royalty of Manchester's entertainment. Bernard Manning was there. Very nice guy to talk to. Said, hello, Bernard. Said, hello, son. Catherine, that's a terrible idea. What was that one? What ideas Catherine got? Scotty, how about taking a Skype call at the end of the show to sing the goodbye song? Scotty McClue, the first person to get the phone, gets to sing along with the nation. Well, Thomas won't know this, but we did this for years on the radio, the goodbye song, and the phones were jammed. And you can actually hear somebody singing one. But Catherine, I can't do music. I get hit with a copyright claim. Do you see what I mean? I can't do music. Thomas, it's not a terrible idea. It's actually a super idea, and it works a treat. You'll hear it. If you put in Scottie McClue singing the song, then you should hear what we mean. So there's Scotty. Will anyone Skype you tonight? How about some folk that never do? Kareem, I don't know. I mean, are you not happy just chatting away with all the rundown? Do you want to hear the Skype going? You could Skype. There we are. Do you still watch Scotty? Scotty, who's your favourite? I'm watching it at the moment. I want to see what happens to Jeff, who has, been verbally and everything abusing his wife. So there we are. We want to see him get his come-uppance, the baddie. Do you remember Gail's husband? That poor actor was at the bus stop one morning, and an old lady started leathering him with her brolly. You're a very bad man. An actor, stop it. But he's done, as an actor, Jeff has done wonderful stuff. Love Bernard Manning. He was very nice. It was great to chat. And a lot of the Coronation Street cast as well. And they were very nice to me because they obviously knew Scottie McClue. See, a lot of people that work late used to listen on the way home. And we'd get some quite famous people phoning up. And I would say to the producer, they'd say, so-and-so's on the phone, Scotty was. So, it is not. Somebody just at it. No, it's him. He loves the show. He's saying, Scotty, excellent show on. Absolutely, Kareem. Richard Hillman. That was him. Well, the actor that played Richard Hillman, he got an old lady going, hey, Batman! At the bus stop. Can you imagine it? You've just got to watch. I used to sometimes got it. I got refused to, a wee girl refused to serve me at a chuck wagon when she found out it was Scottie McClue. I think she was a single mother and she'd heard Scottie McClue give them what for live on air, and she told me to pee off. And I said, can I get a roll, please? Hang on a minute, are you him? You're him, aren't you? So who are you talking about? Scottie McClue? No. Go on. Yes, fly to Scotland. So yeah, at the end of the podcast, after the goodbye song, I think we should all stand and sing the national anthem. I thought you would all be doing that anyway, Gordon Robertson. And Tam has come back and said, yes, fly to Scotland. Sorry to disappoint you, Tam, but the national anthem for Scotland is not Flower of Scotland. It is a nice song, and it's very popular. And it was the wonderful Roy Williamson that wrote it, based on the chorus of the Hebrew slaves from the opera Nabucco. So there we go. You know, that when they go, dee ra 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 ra, the Hebrew slaves, and Flower of Scotland. Da 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 dee dee da da da. See how it goes? Very, very interesting. And he was a good man. He was a Gordonston boy, and an OG, an old Gordonstonian, was the wonderful Roy, and terrific guy, Roy Williamson. And also Ronnie Brown. The Corries were tremendous for Scotland. But no, the national anthem for Scotland, Thomas, as you well know, is God Save the Queen. So there we are. And that will no doubt remain. Brian, somebody played Richard Tillman. Yes. No, Thomas, God Save the Queen, yes. Have you ever been starstruck, Scotty? No, but I have pinched myself when I meet stars and I think, I can't believe I'm talking to this person. And a lot of them are very, very interesting. I can remember one night we'd been at an all-star party, and the car park attendants had gone, and the car park was locked up. The party had gone on. And I said, I'm locked in. And the head of security says, I'll let you out, Scotty. Come on, we'll go down. He and I walked down. He says, Scotty, we get them all here, all the big ones, but you're just yourself. It was a lovely thing to say. That made my night. So I wouldn't say I've been starstruck, but it's interesting when you're just having a chat. Because you see, when you work in television, you see huge names coming into the television station, and you'll have a chat to them. They might end up, they're on their own, so they're feeling a wee bit lonely. And it's quite nice to sit down and have a cup of tea with them at the table and introduce yourself. And, so I used to say, hello, how are you doing? You'll not know me, Scottie McClue. And very often, they say, oh, I do know you. And we'd chat. Very, very interesting. So there we go. Scotty, did you like the late Michael Robbins, one of my favourite old characters? Yes, On the Buses, Olive's husband. Billy Connolly wanted a new national anthem using the music from the Archers. I said, da, 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 da. Sorry, I meant Scotty's as Alan. Flower of Scotland, we stand for Nicola and the Queen, says Kareem. Yes, Flower of Scotland, yes, but it's not the national anthem, Kareem. It would be God Save the Queen. I'm in broad agreement, Kareem. We must respect Her Majesty and sing God Save the Queen. Absolutely, Gordon Robertson, because Her Majesty is apolitical. Let's do both. So what we could do, you have the national anthem and you follow it with Flower of Scotland. Won't be God Save the Queen for much longer. It'll be God Save the King, and nobody's going to bother with that. ACOS, forget it, right? If that's the way you're thinking, put that right out your head, because there will be no independence without the monarchy's say-so. The monarch is sovereign in Scotland. By agreement, the Parliament, put there by the people, has got sovereignty for the people, but not over the land and not over the monarchy. So put that out your head, ACOS. There you go, chum. That's the first thing that nationalists need to learn, is until the Queen is secured, it just will not happen. It can't, because you need her permission. Why do you have multiple editions of the Who's Who yearbook? Because what I do, Alan Joyce, I buy them second hand, and I cross-reference people when I'm picking up knowledge. So there you are. So quite often, that's just a tiny, tiny, tiny selection of all the reference library I have. And it looks a bit of a mess, but I can put my hand on anything. And I can it's all to do with getting the information together at the right time. Saying, I need to check this one up. So there we are. So I have all that. But that's just a bit. Scotty, do you like non-alcoholic wine and beer? I don't bother, Eddie, because there's no need for it. So just a wee cup of tea and a glass of water. I don't miss alcohol at all, and I enjoyed it over the years, and didn't enjoy a lot of it as well. So I told you, I spoke to a doctor friend of mine. I said, is there any value at all in alcohol? And he went, no. Just as, in fact, he said it's very harsh on the system. He said, just as a disinhibitor, a social disinhibitor. So in other words, people, things that they don't feel they can say, a wee bit of Dutch courage. Need to check where that one came from, get a drink in them, and then they think they can say something. You know, I had a friend ring me one time. He said, do you want to come out drinking? I said, I don't drink now. He said, oh, that's a shame. I said, why? What's wrong? He said, I wanted to tell you something, and I thought if we had a few beers. I said, no, you can tell me anything. And I don't need a disinhibitor because what you see is what you get. Do you know what I mean? So there we go. Excuse me a wee second. A wee comfort break. Oh, have to have a fresh comfort break all the time there now. Hello, Scotty, back from dinner. Dinky-Doo, J-Dog. England will be changing theirs to Jerusalem after the Queen dies. No, I don't think so, Robert Blake. We should sing Jerusalem, but we need to in Scotland's green and pleasant lands. But apparently the dark satanic mills, Blake's reference to that was the universities, the English universities, the black satanic mills. He didn't mean the mills of the north, which is actually quite nice. Good for them. What's Acos talking about? Yes. England will be changing theirs to Jerusalem after the Queen dies. Well, it won't make any difference because when Her Majesty does eventually pass away, her son will take over. So the monarch will be on the go. The world's most humble man. Absolutely. Sorry, I was busy, caved and ordered some chips from a takeaway. Oh, Graham, you and your chips. You'll be like the side of a house. I always wonder why so-called nationalists use a foreign language for Scotland, i.e. ACOS. Well, Gordon Robertson, it might go back to the old alliance when Scotland was very much hand in hand with France. And you see, England didn't really catch up to about, was it 1904, the Entente Cordiale with Edward VII. See, he had to do quite a lot of work, Edward VII, after his mother died, because she'd put herself through widowhood and was known as the Widow of Windsor. The country were getting restless that they didn't see enough of the Queen, of Queen Victoria. So he had to do a lot of PR after she went. What do we got here? If Scotland ever gets an anthem, it should be a man's a man. A man's a man for all that. Yes, I have to say I've got a wee glint of agreement there, Alistair Campbell. You're a very wise man. Robert Scrimger says the Duke of Hamilton had toothache on the day the protestation of the Act of Union was to be presented. So they are, yes, but the Act of Union, it wasn't bad. There was a lot of jiggery-pokery went on with that. That was not the clean tatty, I can tell you. Alistair, absolutely. I was starstruck when I met Mrs. Brown and his wife on a set at the BBC. His wife? You mean Mrs. Brown as Mrs. Brown's boys? I know your ma, Acos. She's from Mount Vernon, says Gordon Roberts. I must dash, Scotty. Thank you for a wonderful show and everything that you do for us. God bless you. And everyone joining in tonight, Dinky-Doo, Chris Wilmot, you're such a gent. It's a privilege to have you on the live stream. And Dinky-Doo to you, Chris. Take great care of your dear self. Have a wonderful night. And remember, you are a top man. Fantastic. To the telephones. Do you hear me? To the telephones. Force of habit. Scotty, do you believe in an afterlife at all? I think there's going to be something spiritually because you can't have all this knowledge. I mean, life is not the dress rehearsal. This is it. But I've always had a kind of feeling that I was rehearsing for something much, much bigger. Interesting, isn't it? And people used to say to me, you need to, if you're going to make it in your career, you'll need to get a step on it now, Scotty. You're not getting any younger. And I think, I can't see the rush. I don't get the rush. I never, ever have got the rush. And yet when I look back, I think, how did I do all that work? Because I just work all the time. Because if you're enjoying it, you never work a day in your life. Never done a handstand. There we are. I think the only value in alcohol is it helped the Red Army sort the Germans out. The Germans froze in winter, so it works. Yeah, but Count Murcielago, as you may or may not know, if you take alcohol in a cold climate, it opens up your pores and lets the cold in. So it's not the best stuff for you. Robert S., so he said, the Duke. I said, that Goodwin Gordon Robertson, he said he had toothache. Could that be a wee excuse? Sorry, can't imagine that got toothache. Do you know that the Duke of Hamilton, to flatter the Queen, called his son and heir Anne? I couldn't believe it. So there was Duke Anne. One of the Dukes of Hamilton was Duke Anne. And she thought he was daft doing it. What's he playing at, for goodness sake? Lord, let Glasgow flourish through the preaching of thy word and praising thy name. Good one, Eddie Doyle. Excellent stuff. A very nice toast. Thomas says, what that is, Thomas? I don't quite get that one. Took it out just now. Is it Gaelic? Is it Sunni? A man's great, but it's a lament. We need an uplifting anthem. Well, because somebody said, God save the Queen, you can't get more uplifting than that. Fantastic. And but somebody said that they felt Flower of Scotland was a wee bit dirgy. A wee bit dirgy. Did you know all of the cast are related in some way in Mrs. Broadcaster? Did Glenn? Yes, absolutely. Thank you for such kind words, Chris. Good night. Thank you, Alan. We'll never know, Gordon. It sounds fishy, doesn't it? Hamilton was going to lead a rebellion against the Union. Yes, there was quite a lot of jiggery-pokery there. They kind of pushed Anne onto the throne because they didn't want one of the old pretenders, because they didn't want to carry on with a Catholic on the throne. That was the panic. The throne had gone Catholic, Protestant, Catholic, all that sort of stuff. And that was only passed by one vote. So I'm wondering if at the time of union, you had a kind of parliamentary setup like you've got now, where there would have been proroguing and going to see the Queen and all that sort of stuff going on. There's definitely jiggery-pokery. Scotland was sold for £1,500 thereabouts. Okay, how about 100 pipers? Yes, very interesting. 100 pipers. Well, that, of course, was the theme tune for Scottish television. Was anybody up early enough in the morning, 9:25:00, to hear Scottish television go dee-lum, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, and then it finished, the lion rampant spun out of the screen, dee-dee-dee-dee-dum-dum, and that was Channel 10. So there you are. And then I think there was a wee bit of a stushy about the lion rampant being used. Akos says, you're a funny guy. She died in 1975. Gordon Robertson's talking about. Who's that? After we pass on, there's only two destinations, heaven or hell. Well, we don't know that for sure, Eddie Doyle. That's a belief system. Other people have a different belief system. So that might be in your belief system, but that's quite limiting. If you're going to end up in the hot place or the light place. We'll never know, Gordon. So there we are. Who died in 1979? What are we talking about there? Two Ariels met on a roof and fell in love and got married. The reception was amazing. I heard that when the wedding wasn't great, but the reception was out as well. Went to a restaurant the other night that does exotic food with a roast pelican. It tasted all right, but the bill was huge. So there we are. I missed what that one was there. Does anybody believe in a life? I think, yes, all this ability and knowledge and everything, I don't think that stops with you. So it must go into the spirit world. There we are. And if you believe there's heaven and hell, then you will believe that Jesus is alive and dwells among us in his risen power. You see, you can't just cherry pick from the Bible. We are dead and that's it, nothingness. Well, Thomas, if you believe that, then would you think that in life you have nothingness? That's like saying we are alive and that's it, nothingness. You see? So you think that once we go, when our body wears out, we lie in the cool brown earth, or we go ash to ash, dust to dust. Did you enjoy uni? I can't seem to make myself do it. Willie's song, I think nowadays you have to work out what's best because you don't want a load of debt. I thoroughly enjoyed uni. And I remember having a wizard wheeze because I was part of something very interesting at the time. And we got grants. We didn't have the debt, you see. You had to get by. The grant wasn't huge, but it was enough to get by. And I remember on a Saturday night, I had a huge thesis to do. How am I going to get this typed? Because in those days, your computers, there were about maybe a dozen computers. And you had to book to get onto them. And there were some amazing young typists. I couldn't type at the speeds that were required. But they weren't really computers. There was no internet. So they were word processors, effectively, that you could save stuff on. And then I had a wizard wheeze. It was a Saturday night about 6 o'clock, and I thought, I've got my matriculation card for uni. I can go and see if the reading room's open. And I went down there, and it was stuffed full of medical students from the Middle East. And I got on a machine all to myself and could stay on all evening until they closed. It was wonderful. The great big reading room in University Avenue. And I thought, that's just clever thinking, McClue. Thomas, is a bit dark. I think you're being negative, aren't you, says Glenn. That's right. No, if that's Thomas, I mean, I know Thomas wasn't brought up to think that way, but if that's his belief, that's his belief, and he's entitled to it. Very wise words indeed, Scotty. If you enjoy your job, you've never worked a day in your life. I love it. I know. I haven't. I mean, people say to me, but you must have worked so terribly, terribly hard. And I think, no, I've never done a hand's turn. You know, from that point of view, it's very interesting. You must have studied so hard. No, I just enjoyed reading, you know. I watched Psycho today, Scotty. We all do, Graham Niven, you know. We get a bit carried away. You think, oh, turn that off. There's the bit in the shower. Yes, I know, but the chemical in vodka is the same as in a car antifreeze. So there must be something. And vodka, you see, I don't really know very much about it at all. Whiskey, gin, I could tell you about that. It's an Arabic phrase, praise be to God. So there we are. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I understand now, Tam. It's appointed for man to die once and face judgment. Hebrews 9:27. Now, Eddie Doyle, how does that sit with Jesus? So there you are, you see. So we have a New Testament, the testament of his body and his blood. Absolutely. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Scotty, you need to realize that GSTQ is highly divisive. Half our population came from Ireland for goodness sake? Well, the Queen was the Queen of Ireland at the time. So they should be very much appreciating it. The Irish crown is still about. It wasn't until 1922 that Ireland decided to be a republic. So there you are, you see. Yes, Ireland. You couldn't get a more royal island than Ireland. The kings of Ireland, the ancient kings. Oh, come on. The fighting Prince of Donegal. Why am I so sad on my wedding day? It was played by the bells in the Scottish churches the day the Union was passed. Why am I so sad on my wedding day? Why I am so sad on my wedding day? It was played by the bells on the Scottish churches the day the Union was passed. What was that, Robert? Say more. Tell me more. I've lost you. You've lost me there, Robert. Tell me more. What have we got here? Roger Baxter. P.S. Waverley is the last seagoing passenger-carrying paddle steamer in the world. She is indeed, Roger Baxter. There are inland water paddle steamers, and apparently the Maid of the Loch can get steam up. Have you heard that? You can see her in steam. Yes, I remember that on Channel 10. I didn't know the channel, but yes, I remember the wee tune. Catherine Raven in the morning, 100 Pipers. This is Scottish television, broadcasting from the transmitters of the Independent Television Authority. That sort of stuff. The ITA, it was at the time. Fantastic. Craig, you're getting worse, says Catherine. Catherine, how are you? Is Ian on tonight? It can only get better after that one, Catherine. What was that one? Scotty, do you think the mind and the soul are one and the same thing? No, I don't think so, Alan. I think your soul is your very being. I would say your soul, if anything, is your heart and your mind and your brain and all of you. Your soul is what you have when you're living, like we talk about, as a poor soul, that sort of stuff, a poor soul. So I think a soul is living, and it's with you when you're living, your very heart and soul into things. It's your very being. And when you die, I think your soul survives. Praise my soul, the King of heaven. To his feet thy tribute bring. Ransomed, healed, restored, forgiven. Who like me his praise can sing? Praise him, praise him. Praise him, praise him. Praise the everlasting King. Yes, wonderful. And we sang that. I chose it for my father's funeral with permission of the family because we were taking a tribute to God. We were bringing my father home to God. Praise my soul, the King of heaven. To his feet thy tribute bring, as we carried Dad in. So there we are, you see. Craig, it will get better. 100 years, Scotty, since Leith joined Edinburgh. But for COVID, there might have been a lot of events marking it, although it wasn't a popular amalgamation, was it? No, it was not. And the burgers to this day, because remember, I broadcast in Edinburgh for a very long time. And the burgers, the good burgers, do not like, if you're Free Leith, you don't like being called an Edinburgh man. And so I say, are you from Edinburgh? Free Leith! We're Free Leith! So that sort of idea. So no, they didn't like it. And the Edinburgh lot, Leithers, they're a funny lot, didn't they? Down the Leith walk. That's all it is. But what's very interesting here when we're talking about stuff, Edinburgh actually got invaded and taken over by the Highlanders. The French had invaded it first, and they were on duty one afternoon, and the clans went straight to Edinburgh Castle and chased them. Run away here, the whole way. On, away you go. And that was that. And the French ran away down and got in a boat at Leith. So they ran away and Scotland got taken over because Mary Queen of Scots was very big on having the French about, you see. She did a French upbringing and a Catholic upbringing as well. So God save the Queen. Very, very important. There we are. Uni's free for Scots. How can you get in debt unless you're out in the Randan every night? No, absolutely. But is your fees are free, but do you still get the full grant? I don't know. Ian won't be happy that Craig's laughing the pants off Catherine tonight. So there we are. And Catherine's no fool. She's quite lang in the tooth, as they say. Robert S., the Leith folk still don't like the Edinburgh folk. They don't consider themselves to be from Edinburgh. That's right, Gordon Roberts. Stay until midnight, says the wonderful Finlay Morris. I know it's 1:25 I've been on, 25 minutes over. Students still type out their whole dissertations in one night in IT labs the day before it's due, says Robert Scrimger. I know, well, you do a bit. I mean, you know, when I work with students, quite often I say, where is it? You said you were going to bring that exercise in today. Or Mama took it away in the car and all that nonsense. There we are. An excuse. Roger, I'm good, thanks. No, the Wi-Fi isn't working at the moment. This is Catherine. Scotty, the Mitchell Library is a marvellous archive of Scottish historical material. I've not been in for a few years. Alan Joyce, I used to frequent the Mitchell Library and you could photocopy and it was £1. And I wanted quite a lot of done, so I took, I think it was about 40 shillings, £2. And I was putting the shillings in and copying. This guy was wanting to copy one thing. And when you're on a roll, you know what I mean? You stand going, I said, sorry, are you wanting to copy something? Well, I was. I said, well, I'll not be too long. I've got about another 25 to do and I can't stop it. You know what I mean? It's all right. Oh dear. Have you ever, has anybody ever felt uncomfortable in a queue with somebody kind of pushing behind them, giving it? Have you ever had that? So there we go. Gordon Robertson, 68,000 Leithers didn't want it. Only 20,000 voted for amalgamation, but Parliamentary Committee overruled. So Robert Scrimger, it was a wee bit like the referendum, that sort of idea. So they didn't want it. See, what happens now? If you say that we shouldn't have Brexit, you get the dafties shouting, oh, democracy! No, do you not believe in democracy? You think 1.2 million wanting 70 million to give up their European citizenship and to come out of a market of 28 countries and 510 million people. 4 countries been dragged out there, 3 of them against their will. Let me think. Democracy. So is that democracy? Do you know what I'm saying? And so the kind of democracy side of things was kind of pushed through. It's that sort of idea. I believe when we die, that's it. But I'd like to think there could be something that our energy goes to dark matter. Oh, Kareem, we don't want to be going dark. No. Energy goes to dark matter, universe, energy, birth of galaxies, who knows? Well, you see, I feel I've had some wonderful, wonderful relatives, and they've gone on to the next step in their journey. And I feel they're only in the next room. I sometimes miss them to talk to, but I don't sort of, think I'll never ever see them again. And I don't think I'll walk into heaven and go, oh, hello, Da, how are you? All that stuff. I'm not talking about that, but I think there's good energy around in the world. And it all says there's the righteous judgment seat of Christ and the great white throne judgment by God the Father. So, but Christ sitteth at the right hand of God, where the saints commune. So we can't have it both ways, Eddie. So there we go. So, Robert Scrimger, here we go. Oh, yes, an old Scottish lament. Why am I so sad on my wedding day? An old Scottish lament. I think you might know it. Being more musical than me, I can look it up. I will probably know the tune, Robert. There are so many of these things. The Penny Wedding in Scotland. The Penny Wedding. Scotty, if I asked you for a book to read, what would you recommend for me? Says Catherine Raven. Catherine, I have so many books to recommend to you. I wouldn't know where to start my recommendation, so I'd be far more interested in talking to you about what you want to know about. What would really float your boat, as we say, and then I would find suitable reading material. Yes, I can remember I had a friend doing a degree, and we were sitting having lunch. I said, what's your degree in? And he told me, and we discussed it. I said, don't move, stay there. I'll be about 15 minutes. And I took off out. He said, well, what you do? I said, just stay there. And I left him sitting in the restaurant, and I drove to the house, put my hand on the book, took it back, gave him the book. And then when I said to him, how did your thesis go? He said, I got 99%. Was it not the IBA and not the ITA? No, Professor Numpty Head, you see. This is you being a wee smarty pants, thinking McClue doesn't know what he's talking about. Out to say, I'll get him yet. No, the ITA was the forerunner of the IBA. So for television, it was the Independent Television Authority. And that was before you had independent commercial radio, which didn't come in until about 1973, right? And then they found that they had to put radio under the Independent Television Authority. And that didn't seem quite right. So they called it the Independent Broadcasting Authority. And then that got split again, and you had the Independent Broadcasting Authority looking after television and the Radio Authority looking after radio. And then another government came in and changed it all again and put communications all together and called it Ofcom, the Office of Communications. So there you are. There's a wee bit of history for you, Numpty Hoot. And I've had this all my life, though. Don't worry about it. Everybody wants to be a wee smarty pants and outwit McClue. Yes, and I can understand it, because by sitting up here telling it like it is, I have sort of thrown down a gauntlet of knowledge, haven't I? Very important. The gut is the most sensitive organ in the body. It should be called the brain. To be continued. Ah, very good, Catherine. Yes, the gut is very clever with its wee suckers. Tuition and maintenance payments are a student loan. Probably the best loan going, but it's still debt. Absolutely, Willie. Yes, Willie song there. But, well, wait a minute. Tuition and maintenance is it not true the tuition fees are paid? So what kind of tuition are you talking? Tell me more. If you believe in regression, I think it gives you that there might be some evidence that there is life after death. No, well, we don't want to regress. We want to press on. I was starstruck when I met my second hero, Colin McRae, the racing driver. Wonderful man. Such a huge loss. And his poor son, Johnny. Absolutely, Colin McRae. Wonderful. Yes, racing. Terrific. I understand. Another fact about Edinburgh, Leith had electric trams, and Edinburgh had the old cable ones. I think it was Pilrig Street you changed over. I know Pilrig Street because remember I worked in Leith at Leith Docks. Albert's Shed, number 1 shed. Scottie McClue, the voice of the nation. Eddie Doyle. Alistair Campbell says, it's an Irish song on my wedding day. Yes, I think that we maybe don't always have it right, because marriage can be a bit of a trap, you know. So I know people who getting married. I don't know them, but I've heard of them. They're getting married and they don't want to. They think they're making a mistake, but they go through with it. You know, remember Princess Diana had nerves. Well, they put it down to nerves, but she was thinking about maybe not marrying, you know, and I think it was her sister that said, come on, Dutch, your face is on the tea towels, reputedly, allegedly. We don't know, because we weren't there. Robert, that would be right. Pilrig Street's the Boundary. Is that at the old, is it the old library there, Gordon? What's that big building again? Is it something else special? It's not the court, is it? There's a very classical building kind of on the border between Leith and Edinburgh. Yes. Robert, that would be right. Pilrig Street's the Boundary. I used to have a flat just on the Edinburgh side of the Boundary. Whew, narrow escape there. There's a pub in Leith Walk that the Boundary cuts in two. So you can have Leithers on one side and cuts in two. Well, Gordon Robertson, you are very, very interesting. You should be doing the stream. The judgment seat of Christ, so this is Eddie. The judgment seat of Christ is for rewards to people who served and followed Christ. The great white throne judgment is for sinners and people who didn't follow and serve Jesus Christ. Well, that's if you're a Christian. Of course, if you're not a Christian, you wouldn't believe a word of that. And so it's what belief system are you in? But if you're in that one, I think if you're a Christian, you would follow in Christ's footsteps. Follow in the footsteps of the Master. Become a disciple. Apparently had two different drinking uptimes depending upon where in the bar you were standing, but I could never find out if that was just a tale. Gordon Robertson, did you not think to pop in and maybe order a half? You know, a half pint. Has anybody in Scotland ever had a half pint? Are we getting a clip tonight? Yes, Craig. Yes, we'll get you a clip. We will get you a clip. Yes, Gordon Robertson, they had an Edinburgh entrance and a Leith entrance. The licensing laws in the old days, I think the Leith pubs are open later. Not sure. So did everybody not, just to use a parliamentary term, cross the floor, cross the flare at when the bell rang? That's what I heard. Leith hours were longer. Quite right, too. You can't beat a good night out in Edinburgh, says Kareem. Oh, absolutely, Kareem. But what's a good night out? Must go, Scotty. What do we got here? Must go, Scotty. Mum needs my help. Night-night, Dinky-Doo, stay safe. Jarrah John, you take care of yourself, eh? Top man. Jarrah John, thank you for joining us. Scroll up, I just gave you the link to the tune, says Acos. Excellent. The big church at Pilrig Street and a library at, yes, McDonald Road. The library. There'll be the library, Gordon, I think. Big building, looks like maybe 1890s, that sort of stuff. Willie says tuition fee loan is about £3,000 a year in Scotland. It goes straight to the uni without you seeing it. Right. You only have to pay it back if you earn over 21,000, but it's not free education. I see in my day, you didn't pay. They looked after young people in Scotland. Good night, Count. Stay safe, says Catherine. A half pint was the chaser, says Alistair Campbell. Yes, a half and a half pint. Oh, yes, a different way of looking at it. I was thinking if you were just on beer, did you ever really? I know people who drink whiskey, but they have a half of beer with it. The chaser, a half and a half, you know. Scotty, what's a quarter joule? 4 to the pint, Eddie. 4 to the pint, dear boy. Half pint was the chaser and a quarter joule. So a quarter joule. So a joule's 4 to the pint. So a quarter joule will be 16th of a pint. Is that right? So it will be 1 fluid ounce. Am I right? Are there 16? No, sorry. 16 ounces in a pint. 20 fluid ounces in a pint. Is that right? 20 fluid ounces. So a joule would be 5 fluid ounces. So a quarter joule would be 1 1/4 fluid ounces. Is that right? Yes. I think I've done a vulgar fraction there. Death and afterlife, says Thomas Bidden. Absolutely. A dark show tonight. Not at all, Thomas. Because think about it, when people die, they go towards the light. They're enlightened. They're into eternity, where the light of God lights their way. So not a dark show at all. So there we are. Cillian, lovely to have you. We don't discuss that, of course, on a live stream. I was listening to the Mr. Martin clip the other day, Scotty. The man's totally wrong in saying the Scots were cowards. Do you remember the call? I remember it very well. Very well indeed, Robert Scrimger. Absolutely. Is a wee dram the same as a hoff? Yes. I think a wee dram would be a big dram. So it's probably a hoff. It's probably a hoff Jill. So it's probably a double, I would have thought. I would think a half will be a half Jill. Give us a wee half for you. Lovely, thanks. And I'll have the other half in a minute. I remember an old boy coming into a country pub in Scotland. He pulled up in his Morris Traveller with the woody. And he had on a tweed jacket, grey flannels, highly polished shoes, a moustache, well-brushed hair, so a gentleman. He had the checked shirt and a V-neck jumper and the tie out over the front. And he came in and he said, could I have a malt whiskey, please? And the chap said, water, sir. He said, oh, God, no, it's weak enough. So there we are. The wife was in the car because it wasn't the done thing for women to go into pubs unless they had a lounge. Night Riders, the Hoff. That's a good one, because I had a run-in with my local priest when my granddad died. Absolutely, Tom. I mean, the priest can be quite sort of judgmental, and I understand it. And well done, you, for standing your ground. But I think that the church gets weakened over the peace by people saying, well, I'm not sticking to that. You know, it's like if you said to a Catholic lady, well, you would never, ever use birth control. And they go, are you kidding? You know, that sort of thing. You'll sometimes, you know, get somebody who's thinking, the sharing has went to hell tonight. That would be has gone to hell. But it hasn't. No. I've forgotten to share. Nobody shared. We need to share. Tom's correct. But Tom, don't let that stop you going back if you want to go back. Don't let that stop you popping into mass now and again. There we are. You might go to another church. I mean, people sometimes go to another church. Destination unknown, says Roger Baxter. Well, we don't know. Or Norman going on about his wheelchairs and not they're all family. Bless their wee souls. They mean no harm. Robert Scrimgeon, I know Norman. That was Norman. Oh, boy. Oh, where do I start? All that nonsense. The man's 86, so that shows you how long ago that was. That would be 13 years ago. Is that right? Yes, he was talking about His Royal Highness Prince Philip on the radio, and Prince Philip I said, the man is 86, so he's now 99, so that's 13 years ago. Amazing, these calls. What I'm doing, guys, that's why I'd love if you could share the playlists. There's a couple of them. You just share the whole thing. So a few wee treats for you. Share it with your friends, because there's so much material in there. Because until very, very recently, these playlists were hidden, I think. People couldn't see them. So I'll see all of them. Thomas says where he goes now. Yes, absolutely. These are wonderful people, actually, because I saw them. I know it, Thomas. I know it very well. And I saw them on television about maybe a month or two ago, and I sent all the stuff around social media for you. There you go now, and everything. Oh, Scottie McClue. I've been reading a lot on the Waverley. Very, very interesting. She's fascinating. It was my old friend put the engines in her. He was the head of Rankin and Blackmore. Yes, in Coatbridge, absolutely. I mean, I can remember going down to St. Patrick's Day in Coatbridge. You could have actually been in Ireland. My dad's already booked his funeral. No religion, the cheapest casket, and that's it, job done. Can't say I agree, but that's his choice. Well, ACOS, we've seen this with the coronavirus. Funerals very, very, very limited, and people just sending it on their phone, and people not able to attend, maximum of 20, that sort of thing. And, I mean, there's people have died, I don't even know if they're buried yet, or if they were cremated, or whatever happened to them. I don't know. So there we are. But no. Scotty, I know you're a Gemini. Do you think your personality reflects the sign? Your sign loves to learn, is always surrounded by learning material, and really is the eternal student. Well, Alan Joyce, that would be me. I haven't even scratched the surface of learning yet. So that would most definitely be me. But I'm on the last day of Gemini, so I would suppose I'm approaching the cusp of Cancer. But somebody said, oh, no, you're a Gemini, you're the twins. I played on the main stage at the festival. We're barred now, says Thomas. I don't know why I say lol, Thomas. Is that a wee kind of nervous lol? You know, yes, I'm sure you'd be very good on the main stage at the festival. And Scotty, did you ever watch The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and The Saint with Roger Moore? All the time, Eddie Doyle. I loved television when I was a kid, and I went to a jumble sale and bought a television. And I think it was 10 shillings, black and white, and I could see Monty Python's Flying Circus on it. Had it in my room, long before kids and tellies in their room. So there we are. And I loved The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and I loved The Saint with Roger Moore. I loved all these things that Lou Grade did. He was really a father of television. The Grades and the Bernsteins were the big entertainers, but Lou was a real entertainer. He was a dancer. You know, he was a great guy, and he brought us all that entertainment. Monty Python, fantastic. We got barred for playing political music. Well, you see, is it political? That's the thing. I mean, one day I was playing a song on the keyboard that's an old song, and somebody said, "Oi, you can't play that round here." And I thought, that's an old jazz song. You see? So there we are. And then people say, oh, why you don't be having that? You see, and all the rest of it. Because remember, Thomas, you're just being mirrored in the same religion by people who have a very slight variation, very slight in belief. There we are. If Lou Grade was still alive, McClue would never be off our televisions. How do you remember one of the most famous quotes in the country? If Lou Grade was still alive, McClue would never be off our televisions. Absolutely. He would have said, Scotty, how much of this can you give me? I'll say, as much as you like, Lou, right. I'm going to put you on Friday night for a half hour. See how it goes, eh? Then we can talk proper. That would have been him saying, we'll talk money. He would say, I'll put you on Friday night, give you £100. Don't let me down. No problem, Lou. No. So there we are. Good night, Scotty and all. Good night, Kareem. Lovely to have you with us. Top stream tonight, guys. Yeah, better head, Scotty. A joy and a privilege as always. I'll go and read up Robert the Bruce and Tarbert. And who you read on Why I Am So Sad. And you read on Why I'm So Sad My Wedding Day. I will do, Robert Scrimger. I thank you. Fantastic. Say goodnight to Robert, everybody. More sharing. We need to share. This is turning into a nonsense. We must, if we'd all shared, we'd be through the roof by now. Through the roof with audience. We need to get this number up. We need the big 40. Yes. Well, that church you're talking about, I think there's something very special about that. Right, guys, I'm going to share with a group. Share in a group. Well, I'll share with the Scottie McClue group to start us off. There we are. Oh, no, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll share on this one. Right, that's it. That's going out there. And we'll let everybody come and join us. Fantastic. I've heard you mention it a few times, says Thomas. Is that right? Do you like Frankie Boyle? Yes, I find he's incredibly clever and very, very funny. But he obviously likes to see if he can find your comfort zone and just take it a wee step further. I like all these clever people. Scottie, did you like The Man Who Knew Too Much? Yes. That was a spy story. And they put him in the lake with his stick and everything. Was that right? The Man Who Knew Too Much. Yes, when I was a kid, I've actually said as when I've been doing journalistic work and investigative stuff, and somebody says, well, I can tell you. I said, you don't tell me. I'm not interested. Don't want to know too much. When I was a kid, I went to STV Theatre Royal and get David McCallum's autograph. Magnus, you could do that. The Theatre Royal with the big, was it a glass canopy that said STV on it? Outside the old Theatre Royal, and people used to get autographs. So there we are. I'm glad Craig and company stopped talking about damp. It was ruining the stream. It was. Well, I think I gave them, I read the Riot Act to them, Tam, which you yourself have felt the sharp end of, you know. And I said, you know, if you're going to discuss damp, then I'm just going to, because that's not going to enthuse anybody finding the stream. They'll think they've found a DIY stream. Wasn't me talking about it, Thomas. Good night, Karim. Good night, Kareem and Robert. Take care, says the lovely Catherine. It's how can I be sad on my wedding day? I think there's been a lot of people sad on their wedding day. Not why am I? How can I be? It's a magnificent chapel in South Scotland. My daughter was christened there in February 2019. The artist, formerly known as John Marshall's, our godfather. That would be a lovely thing. And did you not have to take a solemn undertaking, Thomas? Do you promise to bring her up in the faith? Do you accept there is only one holy Catholic and apostolic church? That sort of stuff, no. Perhaps not. The deacon, right, will not have that. So there we go. You've said that to me before. Fair enough, and I'm sure it's true. Wonderful stuff. I used to get phoned, Thomas, by the Mexican. It was wonderful. I'm glad Craig raised his game. Yes, we all need to raise our game sometimes. Even McClue needs to raise his game. So it's wonderful stuff. Now, we're just about out of time. So there we are. And I haven't even tweeted tonight, but it has been a wonderful stream. Shall we do it all again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock? Is the time suiting everybody? Very important. Kareem disappeared, I think, because we didn't do a clip. Maybe we need to do a clip on the nights because lots and lots of chat. Fantastic. But do you not agree it's a lovely, lovely place to pop into during lockdown? And somebody was even saying the other day, can we continue it after lockdown? You know, is there a chance we can still do it? And I think, well, yeah, I'm sure we could. But guys, if you can share and share and share during the day, and if you can share and share and share these playlists with all the videos, I'll keep updating the videos for you, retitling and putting a decent picture on, that sort of stuff, a decent thumbnail. And if you can share these out with your pals, because although I say it myself, there is no end of entertainment on this site, on Scottie McClue's YouTube channel. Hey, Stu back, Scottie. You worry about your own game, says Craig. Less damp, more sharing, Craig Cochran. 10 to 12 is the perfect time, says Finlay Morris. So you saying 8 to 10 is no good, Finlay. Good night, Scottie and everyone else. Great chats to the wonderful Alan Joyce. Scottie, it'd be wonderful if Johnson could grace us with his presence and camera. Weddy, I think it would embarrass him. I wouldn't want to do that. But I can give him a shout at some point, and we'll see. He may come and just maybe bring me a cup of tea or something. He's in a cream puff because there's no clip. No. Kareem's had to dash. I'm going to watch Disclosure on BBC tonight. It's on care homes. I agree, Finlay, says Thomas. So we want a later stream, guys, 10 till midnight. Frankie Ball, funny, close to the bone. Took me a while to appreciate him. He's up there with Kevin Bridges in the big one. Yes, loved him collapsing, tried to tell his own jokes. Love it. I know, you get a bit like that, don't you? It's very, very good. A cream puff for no clip. So there we go. No, I'm sure not. Right, guys, we'll chuck it in at that. I've enjoyed it tonight, but I haven't been able to contribute much. Oliver needs watching. Gordon Robertson, we quite understand. Oliver comes first. You can hear McClue anytime. Well, not anytime. Well, you can anytime, yes. You can go on and reach in. Alexa will be a great tool in reaching more people. We have to get car stickers and stuff. Alexa, play Scottie McClue on YouTube. So there we are. So if everybody can do that, that'd be fantastic. Thank you very much. And there we go, Gordon Robertson. And he's sending a message out to he who we don't mention. There we are. Scotty, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Johnson was your dog's name. No, Johnson's the butler. The old retainer who decided to remain with me through thick and thin. And he can cover both. Hugs for Oliver. Yes, we all send a hug to wee Oliver. We say Dinky-Doo. Oliver. There we are. Tosbin says, we don't mention him on here, Gordon Robertson. No, we don't mention him, Gordon Robertson. So there you go. That's the thing. So there we are. You're quite right. Although Gordon had to get his point in because Gordon is a grammarian. But we'll show Gordon when we give him a yellow card. Oh, no, we're too fond of him. There we go. Hugs for Oliver. Alexa and Sir Siri on the iPhone. Excellent, Catherine Raven. So shout on Alexa. Say, Alexa, play Scottie McClue and let me know what happens. Right, guys, are we ready? Goodbye, everybody, goodbye. Take care, everybody, as you go. Goodbye, everybody. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. And a cheerio. Night, my darlings. God bless you. Great stream tonight, Scotty, the top man. God bless you. God bless. Siri, please. Scottie McClue live. He's on here again. Oh, we'll get to the bottom of that, Tam. Thanks for the heads up. Have a great night. Take great care of your dear selves, your beautiful people. Remember to stay fabulous and remember to love being you. It's a great thing to be. From Scottie McClue to every single one of you, as we say in the very finest of circles. Dinky-Doo and ta-ra, Lars!